Hi, I'm Heather, and this is knitting update number 53 for Sunday, March 29th. All right, so I did do a wrap-up video yesterday when I got home from Knit City, but then when I went to edit it, it seemed a little bit too negative and maybe a little bit too low energy. I think when I got home from the event, I was tired and I didn't like the vibe and the tone. I didn't get any good clips from the event either, but I'll insert one here.
Making you break some information. Get back information.
So I got one 30-second clip in the middle of the room. It didn't really showcase, but hopefully you got to see some people's fun knitwear and stuff like that. Yeah, I was just too overwhelmed again to get some good footage of anything. And it was very crowded and busy. And like I said, I don't really want to be getting other people. I mean, obviously there's lots of people in that video, but I think it's kind of far enough away that you can't really see them. I just don't want to be all up in people's faces. And also, when it's so busy, I don't want to be standing in the way just trying to get some footage for my YouTube channel. So it is what it is. But I figured I could at least talk about, oh, I got a really good matcha latte. And I got an amazing bagel.
I went to a wool shop in Toronto on whatever day we drove, Ken.
I got both, not in Toronto, but close to home for the drive. Anyways, so Knit City, Toronto, this is my first time going. My mom and I went to the Montreal one last year, which was at a convention center. A little bit more low key. I think it had more seating and stuff just because the nature of the hotel. It was in a hotel. There were lots of seating areas in like the shared spaces. I don't remember there being a lot of seating areas in the actual like show, what's it called, marketplace, like on the floor. But I wasn't really looking for seats and stuff then. I was in a maybe slightly better place physically, so it wasn't as important to me. And also we had our hotel room was just upstairs, so when I got tired and burnt out, I just went upstairs and laid on the bed. So a different experience. This Knit City Toronto was held at the Enercare Center, which is like where the exhibition place. It's a big hall. They had it sectioned off. I think there were 4 events going on there yesterday in total. So in general, the building itself was busy. The parking was busy. There wasn't enough seating. I'm going to say that. I don't want to harp on it too much because in my video that I did yesterday, I feel like I talked about it too much. But I think for a sort of event like this, where it's obviously a good mix of older people and younger people, good mix of abilities, the seating aspect is really important. And I know that when you're an able-bodied person, you probably don't even think about it. But now for me, last year I've talked about this a little bit and I don't want to get into too much detail today. But last year I was really, really, really unwell at a certain point, to the point that I needed to be in a wheelchair. Basically, I didn't leave the house. When I was in the house, I was okay to walk to the washroom and back. We also have a very small house. I also had to sit and take a seated break for a literal like 10-meter, 10-foot walk. And I was also on oxygen. And my experience of being someone in a wheelchair really did shift my perspective on like how we sort of accommodate for people with mobility aids and things like that. And it's definitely something that is lacking. And I worked in healthcare too for 15 years. I worked with people in wheelchairs using walkers, mobility aids, all that. So I'm not a total stranger to this sort of thing, but I guess it is a totally different experience when you're the one living with it. And it was really tough. Like, yeah, it really sucked. So I think that's something that people should consider more. Always put more seating in your event than you think you're going to need, because yesterday people were struggling. I could see it. And it really sucked. It was hard. And then it kind of made me feel bad for taking up space when I needed to sit there too. So yeah, that was my least favorite part. In general, I think it was a really, it was a cute event. There were lots of vendors, lots of Canadian vendors. There were some food truck options. I didn't really look at what they were. Again, like the seating for people who are eating was not adequate, in my opinion. It could have been better. And there's a coffee truck, which maybe they should have just had 2 coffee trucks because the lineup was always really long. So yeah, I walked through the whole event. I didn't look too closely at a lot of vendors because I'm not one to push my way through if the booth is really crowded. I also kind of had some things in mind that I wanted to get specifically. So if the booth was something that didn't really look like it was calling to me, I didn't bother going in and checking it out closer. But some of the things I wanted, I talked about in my pre-video that I wanted to get a superwash fingering to hold with a mohair to make a sport weight pattern. So that was a general idea. Then there was also, I was going to bring my yellow mohair and find something to match with that, which I've left at home. I didn't bother doing that idea. And I knew that Wandering Flock was going to be there, so I really wanted to look at the Cotton Lino because Jessie May just announced a test knit for a pattern she's going to be releasing in the summer, and it's like an all over cable and lace pattern knit in like a Wandering Flock Cotton Lino, and the pattern looks beautiful. And people rave about Cotton Lino, and I've never had the experience to even see it in person. So I was kind of hoping that I could at least look at that, and I was maybe even going to buy a sweaters quantity if I felt moved to. But unfortunately, they didn't have that there. The Wandering Flock was there, but they had a pretty limited amount of stuff, I feel like. And then there's a pair of travel scissors I really wanted to get. That person had already didn't even bring them to the event. She said that they had sold out even before getting to Toronto, so probably will be restocked on their website if I so desire. But I am going to Nash Yarn Fest in a couple weeks. Maybe I'll be able to find a pair of scissors then. I just want these tiny ones. I have a pair that I ordered online, and I was really disappointed because I wanted the light purple ones and they sent me white ones, which was kind of a bummer. And then also I spilled a fizzy drink on them, so they've been kind of sticky. Excuse me. So they've been kind of sticky. They work okay, but I feel like I could replace them and it's something I could get. Anyways, they didn't have the ones that I wanted. So let me show you a little haul of what I did get, if you don't mind. So the first booth that I stopped in on was this Goebbels Tools. So she made this cute little postcard print for the event specifically. Very cute. And this is where I wanted to get the tiny scissors from, but she didn't have any. But I did get this garment tag, or there's 2 in there. They're 2 different ones. The top one says finish object, and the bottom one is like a cute little same bear and dog, and then has like bind off instructions, I guess, on it. I don't want to open the package until I'm ready to use them, so sorry. And then she also had these little tiny stickers I thought were just so cute. And she had project bags, like nylon project bags with like a little zipper. They're really cute. And like a canvas tool pouch, which I liked, but I have so many pouches and project bags and stuff like that. I'm trying really hard not to buy stuff like that. Even I just use Baggu bags for my project bags, and I really wanted to get one of the Cowgirl Hello Kitty Baggu bags, but I haven't been able to find them lately. So I'm trying to just, hold off on buying things like that just because I don't really need it. I mean, they're cute to get, but I don't need it. So then I did purchase some yarn. I've already wound some of it up, and I got it from the Wandering Flock. So I got the mohair, 80% superfine kid mohair and 20% silk. And this is a 50-gram skein, lace weight, 430 yards or 393 meters in the colorway Midori. And this is the same colorway, but this is their 100% superwash extra fine merino. And it is 100-gram fingering weight yarn, 400 yards or 365 meters, also in the colorway Midori. So I bought 2 of each of these skeins. And I'm going to make the Komodo vest. I'll post a picture. I've talked about it a bunch here. I was kind of hoping to actually get the Cotton Lino Sport for that. I was like in between. I was either gotten it for that or for the Jessie May thing, but they didn't have it, so I was out of luck. So I'm gonna make it with this. I think it'll be really nice. I think it's gonna be really cute. Hopefully it'll look good on me. It kind of reminds me of Yoshi. I'm excited for that. So I wound up 2 skeins already, and I'm gonna cast. I'll cast that on once I'm done doing this. So that's very exciting. This mohair though is like so staticky. I don't know if you can kind of see that. And also it shed a lot when I was winding it. So hopefully that's just because of the winding and not something that'll happen when it's a garment and I'm wearing it, but we'll see what happens. I'm a little bit apprehensive about, I was hoping to get a Surrey, to be honest, to try that, but they didn't have any. And I just like this color so much and I really wanted to get Wandering Flock yarn because I haven't worked with it and I really wanted to try it. It's hard to find here. I could order it from the Knitting Loft or I could go, I guess, to the Knitting Loft and get it. But I think other than that, I haven't really seen it anywhere sort of locally to me. So it was fun to see them at this event. They're also at Knit City Montreal last year, but I didn't buy that much yarn. I didn't have like a project plan, so I think ended up buying a bunch of sock minis mostly last year. Yeah, I think a vest made with mohair, and I want to wear it kind of in the summer or spring and fall. I think it's a little iffy for me because I find I'm not super sensitive to mohair unless I'm hot and sweaty. So probably means I'll have to wear a layer under this all the time, which I'm actually okay with. I think also the armholes on this garment are really big, so it might be something I don't ever want to wear without something underneath. And that's also why I wanted to try the cotton lino. I thought it'd be good for transitioning to warmer weather, but you know what? You get what you get and you don't get upset. And then I also got buttons to match. So these are cute. They're resin. They're made, I think, in Quebec or Montreal. And they have a little piece of pampas grass in them. You can see. Which I thought was really cute. And then the color I feel like could be a perfect match. I think that they're pretty transparent. So once I put them on the garment, hopefully they'll match pretty closely, which could be fun. Yeah, I didn't really feel like doing a contrasting color. I thought doing a low matching would be fun, which I never normally do that, but these buttons just seemed really perfect. So that's what I got. Not that big of a haul. I was going to talk about something else I got in the mail this week, an acquisition. But you know what? This video is already actually longer than I thought it was going to be, so I will save that for maybe tomorrow. I'll hopefully see you tomorrow. Bye.